Now, going over to the business blunder of the day, you have cinnamon with traces amount of lead being recalled as it is across multiple brands, thanks to this coming to us because of Consumer Reports. Now, granted, if you click the subscribe button, it may help by speaking to Neptunes. Truth be told, that almost sounded like something Kamala Harris would say, perhaps even worse, debatably. But if you click that button, I greatly appreciate it because as more and more people tuned in and subscribed, I become better and better at speaking. You could argue just a little bit better, but better nevertheless. So, again, if you click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. And it may someday make it through an entire episode of speaking perfectly fluently. Gotta have some goals, I think, maybe someday. Again, this comes to us also thanks to 9 News and NBC. Now they say, quote, throw it away. High lead levels found in 12 brands of cinnamon powders, the report finds. According to Consumer Reports, a third of cinnamon powders it tested had high levels of lead. Now, specifically, this is authored by Andrew Well over there. They say, quote, high levels of lead were found in 12 brands of ground cinnamon products and spice mixtures, according to testing released by Consumer Reports. Now, they continue to say, quote, the nonprofit consumer group's testing comes after the FDA earlier this year warned to avoid 17 ground cinnamon products because they contain lead at levels that could be unsafe for people, particularly children, if consumed regularly. According to Consumer Reports, 12 of the 36 items it tested had high levels above 1 part per million, where there are no federal guidelines for heavy metals and spices. The state of New York uses the 1 part per million threshold to trigger a recall. Cinnamon powder sold by Paris had the highest level of 3.52 ppm or parts per million, according to the report. The 11 other powders that the Consumer Reports urged people to avoid were, good rule of thumb is just throw it away. But specifically, they were the, quote, EGN cinnamon powder, coming in at 2.91 parts per million. Mimi's products ground cinnamon, 2.3. Bowl and Basket ground cinnamon, 1.82 parts per million. Ranny brand ground cinnamon, 1.39 parts per million. Zara Foods cinnamon powder, again, this is all about these all a little bit 1.2 parts per million. Three Rivers cinnamon stick. Geeky brand 5 spice powder. That's terrible branding and marketing. That's a long name. Nevertheless. Also, Bang Fi 5-leaf powder, 5 spice powder, sorry. Spicy King 5 spices powder. Badaya cinnamon powder and deep cinnamon powder. According to one of the food experts at Consumer Reports, just a quarter teaspoon of any of these 12 products has more lead than a person should consume in an entire day. Ideally, you'd think that'd be 0. Apparently, it's not. You also have James Rogers, the director of food and safety research testing at Consumer Reports, saying, quote, if you have one of these products, we think you should throw it away, which, yeah, it's not worth the risk. Which, again, unless it's on Toast Crunch, when was the last time you actually needed cinnamon in your life? Actually, if you're an adult, when was the last time you had cinnamon? Too fancy of a product for me, but that's just me. Now, let's say previously the FDA launched what they called a targeted survey of cinnamon products sold in discount stores in October 2023 over the lead retainted cinnamon applesauce pouches that were sick nearly 5,000 U.S. children. And right now, the government does not have a broadly limit of lead in food products, though they do monitor the levels. Now, they also say that the highlighted products that are sold at 365 Whole Foods Market ground cinnamon and 365 Whole Foods Market organic ground cinnamon, Louisa organic cinnamon, Morton and Bissett San Francisco organic ground cinnamon, Sativ cinnamon powder, and Sativ 7 spice blend, which, let's be honest, how many of these are the same manufacturer but just white label differently and slightly changed with herbs and spices, or in this case, pieces of lead. And yeah, definitely not a good thing for the industry. Again, I'm not sure how many people. Let me know in the comments. What's the last time you actually needed cinnamon? And again, this is it's heartbreaking because again, the younger you are when it comes to contaminants in food, the more negatively it'll hurt your differentially hurt your health. So especially aware if you have children, definitely. I mean, just go. Good rule of thumb. It's not worth the risk. Just throw it. If you have cinnamon in a cabinet, just toss it out. You only need it anyway. It's like 110% luxury product. But yeah, having yet another issue with yet another recall and more attention being drawn to this, going to obviously decrease sales and any trust you have in these companies is going to be visually disapparated. And yeah, hopefully, silver, I always try to squint. If you squint hard enough in life, I like to say you find the silver lining situation. Thankfully, it does look like they're getting ahead of the situation. There hasn't been any major reports of people being negatively affected by it. But still, gotta say, having lead in your cinnamon in your food that's being consumed regularly, gotta say that is certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.